Hello. Hello. How is everybody doing? How's it going? Just had to open the window. It's so hot in here. I should maybe take this top off. Who we got in? We have Sarah, one of the moderators. High spirits. Badger, how are you doing? How is everybody else doing? Have you had a good day? It seemed that everybody was doing all right as I popped into the Discord group, left a few posts, popped back out. Mike is in as well. Hello, Mike. SR Spook Fest. How are you? Bimble with Bruce. Hello. $27. How is everybody doing? Have you all had a good day? Have you been busy at work? Have you been looking for ghosts? What have you been up to? Top chat. Just let me change this chat. I've put it on. Mike's always put it on fan funding, but everybody's message gone. So I'm going to put it back onto live chat. Callum, I'm doing good, thank you. How are you? Sarah had fish and chips for tea. I saw that message in the Discord. Hey up, SR Spook Fest. You're doing a live later talking about cryptids and conspiracies. How much later and what kind of time would that be here in the UK? And I will catch that. I mean, obviously, if it's 4 a.m, then probably be asleep. But I am at work in the morning. But I will catch that. Are you in front of us with hours or are you behind? I can't remember. Hello, Babs. How are you doing? What cryptids are you going to be talking about? I found cryptids quite an interesting subject, although some of them are just kind of made up. Catch anything high? Neville, hello. Wagwan. I know most of you guys here in the Discord group, and you kind of just go from that to this. So you have been speaking to each other, haven't you, already? So you've just done the housework and then done homemade meatballs with spaghetti. Now we've got coffee and cake. Is it tiramisu? Raven, hello. How are you? I hope you're doing good, Tracy. Hello, Sage the Kangaroo. Few knocks, but that's probably just a building popping. Definitely going to go back. Is this high spirits? Do you say you've done this investigation? Whereabouts are you, high spirits? More of a trial run to check the place out. Yeah, we do that. I tend to do that during the day so I can see everything. If it's a cemetery and I'm checking it out, obviously for dangers, my little lad goes with me during the day. We don't investigate. We just go for a walk through the cemetery, basically, and look for dangers, hidden dangers like holes, graves. You better than you was. Sorry about that, Callum. Yeah, all families have that in family. You know, we all have disagreements and fallouts, but that's why we're families, because we can make back up again, can't we? We can make it right. Hi, Wookie Groper. Oh. So yeah, no, we was going to talk about, since it seems to be the popular thing, the ancient Ramin. We're going to have a discussion about that. We've obviously investigated it. I can't remember when it was. I should do really, but I'm getting old and I can't remember these things. I think it was what we in now. I think it was during COVID. It might have been 2020. First couple of years of COVID, anyway, or COVID-19, should I say? I'm glad you're really good, Tracy. I'm well. I'm good. I need to take my blood pressure at the end of the night. To be honest, I haven't taken it for a while. I think my tablets are too strong and they're making me a bit dizzy. How was my toast? That was actually like a burger bun. I had toasted it because if I have a burger or any kind of hot sandwich, like a sausage, I did a sausage and egg sandwich, and I thought I want to toast that. It wasn't a normal bread cake as we'd call it here in East Yorkshire. It was a burger bun, so I toasted it. I forgot I'd put it on the toaster because we use the gas toaster, not the electric one. And I came and sat down in the lounge in the living room and started talking to you guys on Discord, and I forgot I'd left it on the grill, and I thought I could smell something. It smells nice, that. And then I realised, rushed to open the back door to let all the smoke out before the smoke alarms went off. And you saw the pictures, the results of that. Watch out for a succubus. What's going on in Hull? I saw the news the other day. A raid on a funeral director. 35 bodies or something mad. Yeah, the news reported it as 34. Not to pick straws, but the count is a lot higher. It goes back at least, one of the bodies that was left in storage was about a year and a half. I know I was having this chat on Discord and some people didn't like it, but yeah, it's happened. It's all across the news. It's going to be nationwide soon. There's new regulations coming out. We received messages from our boss today saying the councils, in each city now will be going and visiting every funeral home, every undertakers, funeral directors, and doing obviously checks, which we get checked anyway because my company is part of the NAFD and we've got to follow strict regulations. But it was Legacy that was caught storing bodies from all that time ago. It was obviously for financial gain. What I believe of it, what's being in the news and you lot can read, these people who were losing loved ones were going in, booking a funeral. Most people nowadays do what's called a direct cremation, so there's hardly any cost. It's still expensive. I mean, I don't know what Legacy's prices were. I think it was probably £950 for a direct cremation. So that means they collect your loved one, store them until it's time for cremation. They obviously put them in a coffin and just direct cremation. There's no service or anything because that's the cheapest way, and that's how some people wanted it. But they were storing the bodies. They were falsifying records, creating fake death certificates to give, it's not death certificates, sorry, that was the wrong word, cremation certificates. They was printing their own out, giving them to the families, and so, yeah, it's all done, job done. And some of the families wanted the ashes back. If you've stored the body and you haven't cremated it, you're not going to have ashes. So what they was doing, they was sieving ashes. They were giving small amounts of ash to families and saying it was their loved one. It wasn't. It was bits of somebody else. Now, just to let you know, if anybody else goes, for a cremation, which most people do nowadays, ash should weigh £3 unless it is a very small child, like a baby, and there's next to nothing then. But the average human cremated, what's left at the skeleton, what they ground up into the ashes, is roughly £3. So next time you get your ashes back. If you want to weigh them, weigh them. It should be around that weight, give or take a little bit. I'm waffling on. So I can update you on that situation anyway. The owner and his daughter were arrested. They have now been released on police bail, and we cannot believe it. Such a crime what they've committed. There's hearsay that they were putting these people that were meant to go for cremation into bigger coffins. That is hearsay. We don't know if that was true or not. So they were getting buried with somebody else. Some people have got jewelry back, ashes in jewelry, and it's not their loved ones because they're having to go back and ID the bodies or what's left of the bodies, which is terrible. It was described by the police as a house of horrors. It is completely disgusting. These are the smaller firms, you see, that they're not regulated, whereas big companies like who I work for, we have to follow strict guidelines. So, yeah, that's the update. If anybody's got any questions, I'll try and answer it if I can, but I know probably as much as you lot. They're not releasing much at the minute. I've been told a few things, but I can't mention that as yet because it hasn't been released. But that, like I say, it's just hearsay and things. You call it a cob, right? It's a roll. It's a burger bun. That's what it says on the packet. I thought we'd get Blair. What the heck? Steady on with the tablets. Yeah. Well, these tablets are meant to be they're meant to be spot on. It's taken them, I think I'm 8 months now to get my medication right for blood pressure. It's a frigging nightmare. We've written to you a while ago if you wanted to follow us back, and we should have a chat about coming over to you on a hunt. Ghost fam, did you? I can't remember. You probably have, but I've got a terrible memory. I should maybe put my email address up, not the PSI one, because if it's gone to the PSI Gmail, I don't check that very often. I'll put my Hotmail at the top. And if you want to send me an email again, we'll sort something out, hopefully. Depends whereabouts in the country you are. Hopefully we can get that far. Oh, hang on a sec. It's gone right to the bottom. Pin message. So my email's pinned to the top if you want to send it there again, just to remind me. I'll just scroll back up. I don't like not reading people's comments. Who doesn't have them now? I've never got a brother's ashes back after a year and be livid. Yeah. The thing is that they don't know if there was actually cremated or if there was possibly put into a burial. So these direct cremations, they're not. It was. Do you know what I mean? It was. Is it really worth it for £900? It's disgusting. Anyway, they shouldn't have been let out. The thing is now, for their own protection, I believe the police should have kept them in custody, locked them up. The Creme home had 35 bodies stood. It's disgusting. We don't know how they've done it because at our place, we've got staff in and out constantly. There's 4 of us. When we're doing a funeral, there's loads of different IDs. It's all on a computer system as well as they have wristbands on with IDs, the foot tags, the paperwork from the hospital. And also if they've had a PM and things, and we get all that paperwork, we have to check everything. There's 4 of us at least what checks a deceased before the deceased goes into the coffin. And that ID remains with them from start to finish, so there's no mistakes. But these guys, I haven't got a clue what they've been doing. Oh, Mike's put the Discord link up there. If nobody here is in it, I think everybody's in it. Go click on it and join. It's all free. Yeah, Ghost fan, please go join the Discord. I want to say we. I mean everybody. Mike and Sarah mainly not what look after the Discord. Mike's continuously on that, checking it, keeping everybody in tow, sort of thing. And it's some of the conversations. The Hull moderators kind of had the conversation in the gutter yesterday. That's about right for the Hull mods, though. Hello, Matt. What do you do with all those bodies? Exactly as our Spookfest. The thing is, nature starts taking its course. Everybody deteriorates differently depending on body mass and things. We've found that larger people, more obese people, tend to go quicker. And people have been paying for obviously embalming and things, and they probably haven't received that. I make more sense than calendar news. The news won't tell you everything. I can tell you what I know. Um, and the hearsay things, I know there was a lot of stories going around what they'd been doing to the deceased and things. That hasn't been clarified. So, again, that's hearsay. From teeth. Well, what I understand is family have been going in and having to ID tattoos and things. And if they can't ID, then they're going to be doing DNA testing. Oh, sorry to hear about Rachel not being well. She isn't very well. She can't make it. Well, she doesn't do anything when she's here anyway. It's everybody else. I don't think you can from ashes, but that's the thing. They paid for cremation, but they didn't get any ash, or they told them they'd been cremated, but they hadn't. They'd been stacking the bodies up on racking and things. Not in coffins either. I'm saying they've saved the money from cremating them and maybe dumped them in other coffins. That is a possibility, Matt. That still has to be confirmed. And I believe they will have to apply for exhumation kind of certificates and take. But the thing is, though, how many have they done over the last year and a half? Burials. Are they going to have to dig up everyone? There's actually no law how you should store deceased people. Generally, there's an aftercare, but obviously these small companies aren't doing it. We have what they call like a TCU, which basically is temperature control unit, which is like a big fridge. What you walk in, there's typical morgue racking with slabs, like metal slab things, what deceased are on and covered up. I won't go into it because I know it upsets some people, but that is what it should be like. But it wasn't at Legacy. There was just stacked up. I'm the same with I should put them back on food. Not able to get off them. All right, Callum. The thing is, if we need medication to survive the rest of our life, that's what we've got to do, isn't it? I know there's quite a lot of people on medication in this chat. Especially grandmother's ashes in Maine. Couldn't get the tape off, so she used the teeth. Why not? Bad idea. She got grandma's ash in her mouth. I bet it give you all a laugh though. Neville saying, I bet neither of them get 5 years inside. The thing is, what can they do them for other than like fraud or it's difficult, isn't it? When you look at the law against having bodies as like a funeral directors, there's not many laws for that. There should be some sort of regulations what people follow. We do. We have to because, like I said, my company is part of the NAFD, the National, the not the is it National Association of Funeral Directors, and there's guidelines, and obviously somebody comes around constantly checking that they're being followed, all these regulations. I hope they get longer than that because when they get out, they're in trouble. Them families who have suffered will be looking for them. Badger, was it over probably undelivered so they could cash in? It's definitely a financial thing. Um, I think what with Legacy, what it was through the COVID period of 2019 to 21, they were struggling financially, being on the brink, I believe, this is what I was told, of ruin, financial ruin. So they look for ways to make money, basically, by ripping people off and storing bodies. Whereabouts are we? Hang on a sec. Angie, hello, how are you doing? So if they double stack them in coffins, the people carrying the coffins must have had an idea. Uh, no, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I carry coffins every day and they're bloody heavy. Depends what the coffin's made of for a start. If you're getting solid oak panels and things, the coffin by itself can weigh 9.5 stone. Then you've got the deceased in that coffin. Then you've got the flowers on top, which normally a massive 4 foot spread. And they're in that green stuff, what's full of water, which is heavy as well. We've carried, and we shouldn't have done, maybe really heavy coffins. It's why people that are bearing coffins get injuries. I've had quite a few injuries through carrying. It's difficult to tell because you can get we've had quite a few recently. Some elderly people passed away in their late 80s. They only look small, but when we've carried them, you wouldn't believe it. It was heavy. I should do a Q&A on this. I've got to be careful what I say, Neville, because obviously I still work in funeral care. So, but the church once asked me to do talks on aftercare, in funerals at a big like college. Could they take civil action, Vanessa? The thing is, they're now going to obviously declare some sort of bankruptcy. Can they? I'm not too switched on with law, to be honest. Um, I have spoken to a few police officers about it, and they thought they would have kept them locked up, but they haven't. So even they was surprised. But obviously, you do your hardest to take some sort of action. Don't get it if they take all the money for burial. No, not the money for the burials. And it was the cremations. People were not getting cremated, but they created false cremation certificates and kept the bodies. Basically, that is what I've heard. Ian, yeah, when they say dead weight, they are bloody heavy. I mean, with me, I'm tall. I'm 6'2", so I'm always at the head and the back, which is the wider part with the shoulders. I get all the weight. Me and the guy stood next to me, we always get all the weight. Where did they stick the bodies? They kept them in the storage room. They got like a warehouse next to the chapel. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? It sounds like they're being very naughty. Yeah, yeah. I know, Tony. They haven't thought about it. Have the Oh, hi, Tony. Tony is in. He's Brant 19699. Um, they haven't thought about it. They've just done it. I mean, they must have thought we've got over 30 bodies here we need to get rid of. SR Spookfest. Yeah, it does. It is bad. The trick, what you see on TV where the police put like Vicks and things under the nose to hide the smell, worst thing you can do that, because that clearly clears your sinuses and you inhale even more. So the best thing we do, we put like a face mask on, but most times I don't, because we do actually get, when you work with it, you can't. You get used to that, but it's still not good. How horrible! Yeah. So we're going to have a discussion. How many people here, apart from Tony and I, have been to the ancient Ram Inn? Raise your hands. Neville, yeah. I've had COVID 3 times, and I've kind of lost my sense of smell anyway. I can't taste certain things. I can't taste onions or even smell them. There's a lot of food I can't taste, a lot of smells, and this is nearly 3 years later. Never been there. Don't know where it is. It is one of the most famous locations in the UK. What made it more famous, apart from the Ghost Club investigating? I believe was it in the Tony can correct me on this on the in the 80s, maybe the 70s. Um, Obviously, most haunted. I can't believe I said that. They've been and Ghost Adventures from America came over. It's Watton under Edge. I will give you a bit of history. So the construction of the ancient Ram Inn actually took place in 1145. The site was believed to be a pagan burial ground. The building was constructed on the site. It was first used to house masons. I don't mean Freemasons, I mean stonemasons, although there's probably Freemasons there. Slaves and other workers who were building the nearby church, which was St. Mary's. St. Mary's did own the ancient Ram Inn. For those of you that didn't know that, the deeds to the property are mostly in Norman French and are still held at Gloucester Records Office. They read the ancient Ram Inn dates to time immemorial. In 1145, after the workers slaves had moved out of the building, it became home to the first recorded vicar in the town. However, no other records of vicars or reverends living in the property exist. So it's believed that after that particular vicar, it lived there, there was no other vicars living there. Apparently, most of the records have been lost. I'm just flicking through this information that I did have. So it was 1421 and 1820. The property changed hands many times, and the building's main use also changed several times. The building would later become known as to locals as a tan house or the tan house. At one time, the building also went by the name of the Old Sun. Then in 1820, the property was purchased by the brewery, which is where it got its name from, the Ram Inn. It lasted 148 years before it finally closed its doors in 1968. And I think the rest we all pretty much know that John Humphreys bought it. What a genius. Guess how much he paid for the ancient Ram Inn? £2,600 in 1968. So he moved into the property with his wife and his 3 daughters. before reopening the property as a B&B guest house. But it wasn't long before John Humphreys started telling stories of the ancient ramming being haunted. So I don't know if you all knew that information. Let me just flick. Is the ramming in a Welsh leisure centre? So sorry for any Welsh. I'm just messing about. What's a tan house? That's where they used to do like skins of like cows that and um, obviously took the skins off and made them into like leather and stained the skins into clothing and what have you. The record will they will have more stuff on the property. Leather tanning. Yeah, that's all I can think it is, Ian. Callum would love to go. We have actually been. Tony and I have been there. Drums too. Yeah, Sarah, drums too. Some of the ghost stories are really weird. John Humphrey claims, I know one of them, that he was raped by a demon, which is what attracted Zach Bagans and Ghost Adventures crew. It wasn't long before a few of these ghosts were given identities, including a 15th century woman who was sentenced to death for witchcraft, and also the ghost of a young girl, and that of a 500-year-old cat. You will see some of our pictures. If you haven't, I'm going to put a video together with Tony and I's photographs into a video so you can check out it. I've took a picture of that mummified cat. They used to put them into the brickwork. It's said to ward off evil and other witchcrafty things. So it was during the renovation of the basement, John Humphreys actually dug up the grave of several children at the bottom of the staircase. And it was believed that children were victims of a ritual sacrifice, as they were found with daggers buried with them. And we've got photographs of this. Tony and I have sat round this hole, this grave, and we've set cameras up there, and we did actually do a lab as well. I'll have to repost them on the community page on YouTube, so you can all refresh yourselves with them. The daggers were stolen in 2014. There was in a glass cabinet, and they've never been recovered. What a shame. Why would somebody do that? So, I mean, after all these strange goings-on, it was soon became known as England's most haunted house, drawing in more ghost hunters and investigators than ever before. So I think it's Caroline Humphreys now. I don't know if Caroline was married, so it might be a different surname. She actually runs it because obviously John Humphreys passed away, and daughter's taken over. I mean, what a beautiful building it is. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Mike has gifted one PSI investigators membership. Thank you so much, Mike. Who won it? Ian. Ian got it. Well done. Well done, Ian. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. I'll re-put them on the community page, Callum, so you guys can watch them. And I will make a video tomorrow with our photographs in. I've actually lost some photographs. I had an image. I've got this thing with mirrors when I go to haunted locations, should I say, alleged haunted locations, and I take photographs, different angles to mirrors and windows, because in the past I've had things in the photograph, in the glass, in the mirrors. And and I had an image in the mirror at the ancient ram, and I never put it out there. I always meant to send it off to Caroline Humphreys, the daughter of John, and I forgot where I've put it. It's not in my other photographs, so bummer. Although I have found one photograph in there, and there's a hand reflected in the mirror. Now the thing is, it could be me, but I'm not sure, because there's rings on one hand, and back then I only ever wore one ring. It was a gold cross on my little finger. I haven't got it on at the minute because when I was ill, my fingers swelled up, so I took it off. So when I looked at the hand, it's got gold rings on fingers, and I only ever wore one on my little finger. So I don't know. I'll put that up as well, and you guys can decide for yourselves. Who's putting all the links up? Oh, Sarah's putting the links up to our Instagram. I haven't posted on Instagram for a while. I'm going to have to put some on there, the TikTok and the Facebook. Gemma Clarkson, hello. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Hope you're okay. Yeah, Tony said it was a good capture. Paradolia. Could be. Paradolia. Japanese tulpa isn't pareidolia. Pareidolia is when you see something in like a pattern. Your brain is programmed to recognize faces, especially your parents. We've said this before, in brickwork, in the moon, in clouds. I was saying to Tony the other day, people say that they see the parents and things in orbs. We've had this discussion. Picture of Jesus on toast. But yeah, it's Japanese tulpa. I mean, things are called different things in different kind of like religions and different. I can't remember the frigging name for it. It'll come to me. Was it Mary on the toast? Tantrics. Hello. Raven, thank you so much, Tracy, for the 10. We do appreciate it. That is very, very kind. We'll give you a high five when we see you. They've got a belief that the tulpa is trapped in the mirror. There was a similar belief back in, like, was it the Victorian era in the UK? You remember when people passed away, they would be brought back to the house, laid in the coffin in the front room, the curtains drawn, so it was all dark, and they would cover all mirrors. It's one of the reasons I don't like mirrors. I don't have mirrors in the bedrooms or anything. We've got one mirror. Sorry, we've got two. We've got one in the hallway because it's covering a big wall, and it kind of fills it when you look at. And we've got a small one in the bathroom, and that's it. But there was that type of thing, that belief, should I say, that could happen. Yeah, thank you so much, Tracy, who is Raven. You've had hopes the past few days, not like regular ones that look like sparks, but you haven't caught them on camera. Tony and I was in the Lordland building, which was an abandoned building a few years back. And there's a video on the YouTube channel again. You'll have to look for these. They're under all the debunking videos somewhere. We was in the basement. There was myself and Tony, and I think it was Ricky. and there's three of us stood in like a triangle in this big basement. For some reason, our Sony cameras were picking up energy bursts, and as it was happening, you could hear like a snap in the air, like a crack, like static charge. We couldn't see them in person; we could hear it, but the cameras, the Sony cams, picked them up really good. I'll try and fish that video out as well and put the link up. Prevalent idea in a Victorian occult revival. Tulpa is generally regarded as being a Buddhist manifestation of the other self or dark self, says Tony. You and your wife were freaked out. No need to be freaked out. That's our spook fest. That's what you're there for. That's what you got to remember. I know what you're saying, though. It's that fight or flight moment where you're either going to stay and stand your ground or you're going to run. Oh, it was Ricky. Okay. But yeah, even now watching it back, we're fascinated by it. We don't know what created that static burst. There was no live cables in that building anywhere. Static. I had a friend talk about a similar thing that happened to hearing the pop. Yeah. See, this is where you want like some sort of static meter. The MicroPod 2, like Happy Droids built, and give us one to test the tiny puck that detects static and AC charge. Spot on for that type of thing. It will pick up a static burst. Orange sparks. Yeah. You don't believe in audio pareidolia? Well, it does exist, Callum. It's there. We all hear things differently. We listen on. Can't remember the frequency. We're all around the same, but we hear things differently. As weird as that sounds, it's not just me saying that. It is a scientific fact. No, question everything, Callum. That's what it's about. That's one of our sayings, and we still need to get that printed on a T-shirt. Question everything. Tantrix is saying the creepiest thing I've ever seen was a shadow person about 20 years ago. You told your story on Casper site months ago. All right, okay. We've actually seen shadow people. On the three of us saw it, or a few of us saw it. How many of us? There was me and Tony, Amanda and Bab. So there's four of us, but only I saw it at first. There was two kind of drifting across the tree line where I was investigating at the Delapole site where the old mental asylum used to be. Then Amanda saw it about 10 minutes later. Then Barbara saw it as we was later on in the trees in the woods. But we never caught it on camera, so we cannot prove it. But we've got three first accounts, eyewitnesses there. One of them being me, and I'm an investigator, and I'm a skeptical as well. Skeptical investigator, skeptic, should I say. Yeah, check light source. Matt, yeah. I mean, it's just a light spectrum in different coloured orbs. It depends what angle the lens is at when you're taking that photograph and the flash bounces back off the particle. Depends what kind of angle you're at as well to whereabouts in the light spectrum the lens is. We've done it loads of times. I know people say, oh, pink for girls, blue for boy. No, it's just how it is, isn't it? Maybe, Callum, maybe. Hello, New Forest Paranormal Investigators. How are you doing? You went to the Ramin in January. Great night, but very cold. I bet it was. Did you have the heating on? The heating was on when we was there. The good thing about the ancient Ramin, when we investigated, there was only Tony and myself, two of us in the whole building. So we knew whatever was happening was genuine. Um, I must admit, it wasn't as active as we was told it was, but we was only there 9 hours, 9.5 hours, something like that. But we did get quite a few things in the loft area, in the roof, um, with like noise. I don't mean cracking, actual knocking, like somebody knocking on a door, footsteps. And there's a video of that, and I'm going to put it up on the community section so you can all watch it. There was a point at the beginning where we set the cameras up, and I'm just going to walk through the main door into the bar area, and I could have sworn I saw somebody stood there. It actually made me jump back. You'll see that as well. And I radio Tony straight away and say, look, get back. You need to come back, because he was upstairs somewhere. No heating. Right. We loved it though. It was one of our favourite locations because of the history to the place. Very historical building. So yeah, it was one we ticked off our list. We really enjoyed investigating. We was investigating almost non-stop for 9 hours. Many lenses that make modern cameras set plenty of room for lens flares and refraction. Yeah, Tony, exactly. I know people send me orb photographs, and we don't use them as paranormal evidence. We never have done. And I know that upsets some people, because some people do have a belief. They like to believe that that is a spirit coming to see them. I don't want to take anybody's beliefs away from them, but that's just PSI. That's how we are. We've got to stick to the science behind it, and the experiments that have been done with dust and particles and things, not just by us, but by scientists. The blue flashes you saw the other night. No. I see my shadow, a shadow person. My friends put our hands up thinking it was security, an old abandoned asylum. See, what we do when we go to places like this now, SS Boot Fest, I have a trail cam, like an animal cam, and it records in 10-second bursts, but it's motion sensor activated. It's got a PIR in it. And I leave that pretty much just dotted about wherever I'm going to leave it on a tripod for the night. And I go back to it at the end of the night, and we check it. Blue orbs floating through the woods. Yeah, we would have to see footage of that SS Spook Fest, or be there and see it ourselves to try and give an explanation. It's difficult, isn't it? Pug woogies. Pug woogies. What's that? Oh, you'll be talking about them in about an hour. Yeah, get a trail cam. I think I picked one up for about. There's only about £25. I think we've both got one in our case. Just remember to have a checklist with all your equipment on, and when you've put it out, put a tick next to it, and when you've collected it, put another tick. Because if you don't, you forget equipment. If you have a chance, go to the room where the grave is. We could smell smoke and fire was not alight for a while, and you could feel. Yeah, I know which room you mean. New Forest Paranormal Investigators. We left a live camera running up there in that room. So it's just a visit my auntie's grave, and had a feather fall. Matt, yeah, exactly right. I've had the same happen to me. I've asked for signs and I've had white feathers fall. Could be that it's just from a bed, which it obviously is at some point, or it could be that that's there for a reason. You've asked for it, you know. Blue orbs, Stella, it's just part of the light spectrum. Like I said, and Tony said, it depends what lenses you're using and what angles you're at to what the flash bounces back at, or the infrared light, you know. Nobody in here can say a blue orb is male. They can't because nobody knows. But the scientific answer would be what we've spoken about. Blue pinpoints of light. We've had orange lights, not really lights, like static charge bursts. And we knew it was that because we heard the snap. It went, and we saw the burst of light. Or did you notice them because you asked for them? Yeah, that's right, Tony. You see them with your eyes. Is it my eyes are damaged? I don't know, Stella. What I would recommend though, if you possibly think that is, get yourself to an optician. You get free eye tests. Reminds me, I need to go for another one. And then just have a look at your eyes for you. If not, I don't know. It'd be worth setting a camera up. There could be static charges. I don't know. It's hard to say without seeing it. Let me just have a look to see if I've got any more on the ancient ram. Just saying that Caroline in the future would like the building reopening as a pub or a restaurant. However, the cost of keeping such an old property from literally falling down are massive. So every penny she's making is going back into the building to keep the property standing. So yeah, I mean, it's also saying if you're not interested in ghosts, but even visiting the ramming, it's worth it because it's one of the oldest kind of inns what are left of that era from 1540. Not 1540. What did I say it was? But I have got some interesting photographs I will share with everybody. 1421. So I mean, it's in Watton under Edge, like a little village, and there was a lot of witchcraft stuff going around then back in those days, which is what these remains are said to be what were found in the ground. Adverts. I don't know how much I make off an advert. I think I get about 1 pence, 2 pence. Yeah, walking 15 minutes before you caught them. Cool. Yeah, there's a popular thing about blue lights tonight, isn't there? Pinpoints of light. So, if it's happening to quite a lot of people, it's maybe something we can follow up. Not the orbs, because we know what orbs are. Um, but like energy bursts, there's a reason for it. Or these blue pinpoints of light. Would setting up a camera encourage bad spirits? No. Why would it? Stella, if the spirit's about, you're just going to capture them, hopefully. It's not going to encourage it. They're already there if they're there. You won't know if it's your eyes. What I would recommend, though, getting your eyes tested. Any investigator will tell you that as well. If you ask them, they will recommend it because just to double check there's no problems going on with your eyes. It's better off getting checked out. After your mum died, you had a bit like a blue spark, small, and it would travel around objects in the room along things. Lots of people seen it. It became known as the flasher. That's cool. There was an investigation I did at a private home, um, and they were reporting knocking on the wall and weird stuff happening. And I went around. This is when it was just me kind of doing PSI back in 2005, and I had Sony hand cam, and it's always the Sonys for some reason. What see these things in the if you flick it over to like night mode, there was two lights, and I won't say there were pinpricks, and there wasn't exactly like balls, but they're real tiny. One was white and one was orange. The camera picked it up, and it's another bit of footage I cannot find. I've moved house since then, and but I've followed him around the house. And at first I thought, is this a fault of my camera? I've got to check the camera. But it was the only place it did it was in that location. Seems the more common than I thought. My camera was Sony. Yeah, yeah. The Sony cameras, the older ones, are brilliant. If you're doing a night watch or a sky watch, um, get it on night mode. Put it on a tripod so you're not shaking your hand, and look at the stars. You will be surprised at what you pick up in that night mode. You'll see loads of things floating about because it's kind of seeing the infrared spectrum. Blue light in my eyes. My best friend Michael says it's Christ consciousness. I believe we are all one consciousness. All right, right, Callum. That is a theory, I suppose. You saw half your dog. Wow. Wonder if it was imagined as I was awake. I have a trail cam shot of what I believe is my dog in spirit. Just the back end. It was very, very quick as he walked past the trail cam. He triggered the trail cam, so something triggered it. And it looked like, because he was a Rottweiler, but he had his tail. We didn't have his tail kind of cut off. And it just looks like his back end with the tail wagging as he walks past it really quick. Never captured anything again since. But to me, that looks like the back end of my dog. And there's a video on here somewhere about it. JVC, I think JVC is still about. Tony would know more about that, about the cameras, than I would, if he's still here. Best thing would be to ask an optician. Angie, get yourself booked in. Do you wear glasses? I'm trying to look at you. I can't tell by the small profile picture. You got glasses on. Just go and get an eye test anyway, even if you don't wear glasses. It's better to be safe than sorry, because they can see at the back of your eye as well. Discord group link is there. Your dog look like in life. Tony, do they still do JVC camcorders? Somebody was asking. I'm not sure. I think I've seen a few about. I know we've been talking about. I mean, look at the time. We've been here an hour nearly. we've been talking about the ancient Ram Inn. I would recommend anybody goes and visits because it is a lovely place. You've seen one in Back to the Future 1985? Yeah, with the big tapes, the old ones. Um, Another famous location, what I think we should quickly mention, is 30 East Drive. What do they charge at the Ram Inn? Different prices, Jeff. I'm trying to remember what we paid. I think for just Tony and I to go, we paid £290 for the night, but it was during the week. It wasn't a Friday. I think it may have been a Tuesday, but it certainly wasn't a Friday or a Saturday. Because if you go on a Friday or Saturday, it's over £400. Um, but you are better off just doing it with yourselves, because with it being a really old timber frame building with like the oak panels and beams, every footstep you make, you can hear through the full building. So just bear that in mind if you're taking a few people with you. And it is Caroline. Is it Caroline Humphreys that you need to speak to? I think the surname's Humphreys. She may have married since. How far is it from Lana's? Well, Lana's about 2 hours from us, and it took Tony and I 5.5 hours to get there. So you're going to be looking about at least 7 hours drive. And there's not really a train that goes up there either. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, this little village. Once in a lifetime sort of thing. It's up to you. But that's going to be a hell of a drive. You're going to be knackered by the time you get there. Nothing haunted in there. Richard Case, the Ghost Challenger. Which location are we talking about? 30 East Drive. We went there and we picked up very, very little, to be fair, considering, again, that was probably another 8 or 9 hour investigation. We're glad we went. I think we got one EVP, but it was probably a Class C. It wasn't very good. We kind of debunked a lot with what was going on with the knock-in, which was the boiler, the heater. But there was, again, just two of us in that building, and I felt safe as houses. I could have fallen asleep, to be honest. But we enjoyed it. We enjoyed going, as we do. The Ram Inn, you being alone. Yeah, we were pretty much alone. There was only two of us. He was upstairs and I was downstairs. You know, are these places haunted? You know, I don't think there's enough evidence to say that, but there was things going on what we can't explain, certainly. So it's just unexplained at the minute in the Ram Inn. But East Drive, I think whatever was going on there was to do with the family, the young girl, and there was possibly poltergeist activity, which was to do with her age and her hormone levels, making that energy bounce all over the place, to be honest. That's just my opinion. Saying that's what happened. But I don't think that's there anymore. I think it left because all the teams with a good reputation that we know that have been said exactly the same as us. You've done it for 40 years and no longer believe. Fair enough. I mean, we're pretty skeptical. I've been investigating for, I think it's, or researching for about 32 years. Investigating since 2005. Is this the 18th year now investigating? And I'm very skeptical. We like to get that evidence. We're like I've said before, PSI are not trying to prove ghosts exist. We're just there to document it. We kind of never believed in the first place. We just, like I said, researchers, and we present that research. You'd be interested in others on the podcast. Oh, that'd be cool. I did have my email at the top. I'll put my email up again, and just send me an email. I won't give you the PSI one. I'll give you mine because we don't check the PSI one enough, to be honest. So there it is. I'll pin it in a second when it goes up one more. We've just gone to these locations because of the reputation what they've had, and we wanted to experience that ourselves. And I won't say we was disappointed because we enjoyed it while we was there. We always, whenever Tony and I investigate, we always have a good time. We have a laugh, we have a chat, we have a catch up, and we see some historical things, which is brilliant. So it's never a waste for us, even though nothing happens probably 95% of the time. we've captured more things in places where people have never investigated before, where you wouldn't even think. We just EVPs are our best form of evidence at the minute. We have captured some black shapes and figures on some of our footage, what we can't explain. Got it. Excellent. Right back. I was just helping someone. Welcome back, Sarah. I think Tony's gone now. So if you guys, I think I'm going in a minute anyway, because everybody's got to get up for work. EVPs are crazy. Again, you've got to have the right sound recorder. We've shown these type of things before, where if you get the real cheap things where the circuitry isn't shielded from any outside interference like static, AC current, microwave, things like that, you're going to get interference. Even radio waves will interfere with it. Also, the thumb moving on the recorder as you're pressing it can interfere with it. Get a good one. Get a good recorder. Spend the money. Oh, he's back. Tony's back. I didn't know if Tony was going on TikTok tonight. As I shoot off in a minute. Steve Mera. He's a parapsychologist. All yours are cut on mobile. Yeah. I mean, the thing is with your mobile, you've got obviously that mobile signal constantly coming in. That could interfere with it, I suppose. That's why we like to use separate recorders rather than a mobile. What's the best? See, investigators use several different ones. I don't know if I can reach, man. I've got a case with them. Just give me 10 seconds. Here we are. So I keep all my recorders in one case because if you don't, you just lose them. I'll just do it quickly. I won't mess anybody about. What have I got? One of the best ones I've got is the Tascam. These are like little recording studios. The Tascams, they're brilliant. Tony's got the upgraded one, but that's if you want to get real technical. Use the Tascam. I've then got I've got an Olympus, which comes in handy. Just fits straight in your pocket. They're shielded. I've got another Olympus. This is all thumb control, just one. Um, I've got a Sony, which is in my um, my belt, which is hung up back there. I mainly use the Sony, to be honest. Or you can buy these cheap ones for about a tenner. It's always worth spending a bit more money and getting one of the better ones, to be fair. I know they're a lot of money, but until you can afford it, just buy a cheap one. So there's a few makes for you. Mike Callum. Been with Bruce. Thanks for sharing. No worries. But just try and keep all your sound recorders together. I'd obviously, unless we're purposely going to a haunting or an alleged haunting where there's been a lot of reports of sounds, then I won't take that. I'll just take one of them with me. I won't take the full case. I've also got loads of different microphones in this. I've also got piezo mic, which is cool. Musicians out there will know what these are. The piezo microphone, it's the flat disc mic. What I would do with this, if there's any kind of vibrating glass mirrors, stick it on it, plug that into my laptop, and that picks up like magnetic vibration. Another thing you won't see a lot of people doing is piezo recording, which is what we do. Studio mics, all sorts of different things in there. Got the little stereo mics if you want to plug them into your sound recorder to stop all the thumb movement. So there it is. Whoever asked for the names, there you go. It's a £10 one, any good? It's the one I used in the cemetery. I was getting knocking, like a clicking, and it's never done it since. It's only ever done it that once, and I have used it again, and I've gone back to the same place and tried it again, never done it again. The cheaper ones are just built as a recorder, not meant for this type of thing where you're trying to record spirit voices. So yeah, they do work, but I would recommend just spending a bit more. You can get a second-hand Sony or Olympus digital voice recorder or something like that off eBay for £20, £25. The loud popping noise on EVPs you caught live months ago. Have you used that recorder? Yeah, Neville, I have. That's the one. That's the cheaper one. Saying that, I think that one was about £15. I think that the brand they gave it, the name, is a Russian one. Hello, Lisa. Hope you're all right. No, Neville, I haven't had it. I've tried it again several times. I've never had the popping or cracking again. Ian, the Tascam stuff is really good. Built-in mics have surprising clarity. Yeah, they are good. I think that one at the time I paid £95 for that one. I don't know how much they are now. Go to CEX this weekend to have a look. For my first piece of equipment. Many to go. Yeah, Bimble with Bruce. Or eBay. Like I said, you can get a pre-owned one on eBay for 15 quid. And Olympus are good. Sony are good, and so Olympus. I would recommend them two names. Do I think people with the implants hear more? Possibly. I don't know what frequency they detect. I don't know what they pick up. I mean, it makes your hearing better, doesn't it? Yeah, it depends what type of frequency they're set out to pick up. The Tascam field recorder too. It's great equipment. Yeah, it is, Tony. I don't have one on me. It's at Tony's. Tony's got it. It's his. It's like a square unit, and you can connect, I think, is it 3 or 4 mics, Tony, to it? And that thing will hear fly fart. It is so impressive. Pay a lot of money for them units, but if you can get one, get one. So Tony fixed one on like a boom. He made it. He put a boom with a microphone running up it, and just put that at the handle end. But you can have them set and have a mic in each room, and this unit can pick up 4 different mics in different rooms. It's really, really good. So sensitive. It, like I say, it will hear a fly farting. Maybe Music Mapei don't sell them, but might be worth a look. Yeah, yeah. Just if you want to go with Tascam, that's up to you. You pay a bit more money for the Tascam, but I, I also do recommend the smaller Olympus and Sony, because I love using my little Sony. I love it. It's the one I go to when I'm recording. But if I'm on like a private home location where we're just, doing more of a professional job, I will use the Tascam. The Tascams as well, you can slow the recording down. You can play it backwards. You can slow the speed of the recording as it's recording as well as like all the voice activation things it does. You can really do technical stuff with it. Be able to we can't hear certain frequencies. I think our hearing does get worse, Stella. I that's what I think. Mine certainly has. Could be missing all sorts. We lose some of our high definition figure depending on what kind of hearing. Yeah. The council set that up years ago to stop kids hanging around shops. Badges off. Remember to hit the light button on the way out. Can we hear infrasound? Well, infrasound is something what happens when, how can I explain it? Shape of a building, or like if you're in a tunnel or something like that, the actual shape of it as sound or wind is coming in can create infrasound, can create a vibration. I think it was happening at the what was it? What was that location I'm thinking of? I can't. That's what happens when you get old, Stella. You forget stuff. The one there, was it Harry Price? Was it Harry Price? I can't remember. But the shape of it, anyway, shape of the building. I think the Warrens actually investigated it before they knocked it down. Come over to the UK, and it was creating this sound. And then we all thought it was ghost, but it turned out it was infrasound. The shape of the building and the way the air pressure and the air coming in and out was the building was literally vibrating, creating this sound. And that type of sound, certain frequency, can make you feel ill as well. Prince's Key, no. Oh, it's bugging me now. I can't remember the name of it. What, Tony, what's the name of that building where there's just a church now, and Crowley actually went as well? It's gone out of my head. And they knocked it down. It'll come back. It'll come back just as I turn the live off. As a musician, it's acoustic. So why some of us hate certain venues. Yeah, tantrics. I mean, Tony can relate to that. Bawley Rectory, that's it. I'm glad Tony was here then. Bawley Rectory, that's what was happening there. Yeah, they put that down to infrasound. Yeah, there's nothing left of it, is there? What a shame. Just the church now. I don't think they'd let us investigate the church. Discord link, Mike's put it there. Go along and have a chat with all the discussions what are going on. Yeah, interesting chat. Tony, are you on TikTok in a minute or soon? Just that we'll jump over to TikTok if you are. Okay, I'm going to cut this live in a minute. The Tower in Manchester. No, I didn't even hear about that one, to be honest. So, guys, if your first ghost book had stories of Bawley Rectory, it's a brilliant story, Bawley Rectory. I would love to get hold of the original files, but I think the Ghost Club have them. Is that what he was a member of? Tony will know that. Tony's like a walking encyclopedia. He knows stuff like that. Was it built on ruins? Thanks for the stream. Fun to chat and listen along. And no worries. So before you all go, if you would want to consider being a member, join the channel. There's loads of bonus videos, and there's one going up, my body cam footage from the ancient Ramin for the members only. I think I left that recording on my body cam walking around for the full session until the battery went flat. So that is going up for the members only. So if you want to join. I don't know how much it is. I think it's about $2.99, something like that. There's loads of bonus footage what you can see in videos. So it is well worth it. Thank you for tonight. No, Raven Tracy, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. You as well. You sleep good. The Nun was a creepy story. It was a creepy story, but that's all it was. The Warrens never had a case like that, and we know that for a fact. Are you talking about the film The Nun or something else? Oh, right. Okay, you're on about something else. Sorry, I thought you was on about the film. My bad. Sorry. Have I ever discovered anything amazing? Stella, yeah, things what we can't explain, I found amazing. Like I said, one of the best investigation was the ancient Ramin, not because of what was going on the night, but because of the history. We loved it. I loved being in a building that old where I was just by myself pretty much. Time does fly. Oh, Bawley Rectory. Okay, yeah, sorry. I do apologise. High spirits. Thank you, Mike, Sarah, Babs, Amanda. Rachel's not in tonight. She's not feeling well. Tony's there as well. And thank you, everybody else. Raven, Tracy, Ian, Callum. Who else was it? Taz. Thank you, Taz. Is anywhere knowing it's bad? No, just don't think that something's bad, because if you're thinking that something's bad, you can manifest that in your negative energy. So I would just remain positive. Don't worry about it. Mudslinger, thank you. Neville, I don't forget you. I saved the best till last. That's what I do. And of course, Neville is now a moderator on the Discord channel. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We will catch you all on the Discord. Tazzy's a lurker. Yeah, I realise that, Sarah. Big up, Nev. Thanks for watching. We will see you again real soon. Keep an eye out on the channel. There's some videos coming tomorrow. Take care.